Let me mute everybody. There we go. All right. Good morning, everybody. So today what I want to talk about is showing up for yourself and for your business through the busyness of life, because life happens, it gets crazy, and it's super easy to put your business on the back burner, as even if you have super big goals. So before we get into everything, I want to do a quick prayer just to kick us off. And Rachel, I wanted to see if you would want to do it. Would you want to do it?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for this opportunity to gather and to grow in our purpose that you have given us, Lord. And God, I just pray that whatever comes of this call today, no matter what's said, that everyone can gather something that can push them forward in their business, God, and that you will be seen in this call today, God, and that everyone will go out and flourish and just show that your light in the world because of this purpose that we've been given, God. And I just pray that everyone has a great Easter weekend and everyone traveling is safe, and that your angels go before us and to keep us that way, God. And I just pray that we give you all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise for this. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thanks, girl. Okay. Let's get started. Okay, so I've just been really thinking about this a lot because it's super easy for us to hear a really motivating, exciting call or listen to a podcast or read something in our personal development that just really pumps us up, and we're like, yes, I'm going to crush this. I'm going to be in the million club. I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to hit Success Club 50 this month. We get super excited. We get this fire burning in our belly, and then we hit the ground running. And for Monday and Tuesday, we are killing it. We're showing up. We're killing our workouts. Our nutrition is on point. We're checking off every single box on our tracker, and we are just feeling amazing about it. And then something happens and we oversleep, or we have a crazy day at work and it's just super stressful, and you come home and you're just totally frazzled. Your brain is just fried. And I know we all have those days. And then we think to ourselves, I just can't do my tracker today. We don't make time to sit down and try to make a post and put content out there. We don't sit down and get back to all the people who are in our inbox. It's so easy to psych ourselves out. I feel like I've done this so many times, especially when I've had a really long day at work. If I haven't been getting enough sleep, and my brain just is I just feel exhausted, especially when I get home from work. And it is so, so easy for me to talk myself out of coming in here to my office and sitting out at my computer and just focusing for 45 minutes to an hour to get those vital things done for my business. And then I go back to those moments where I'm super motivated and super excited, and I sit down and I enjoy working my business so much. It fulfills me so much. And then it makes me think yesterday I was being a baby, really and truly, and acting like working my business was going to be so hard or so difficult, or it was impossible for me to do that day. And then I'm why do I ever feel like that when what we do is so simple, and we're all here and we do it because it fulfills us and it brings us joy, or we wouldn't still be here doing this and showing up every day. It's completely changed our lives, and we just get in our head. Literally, that's all it is we get in our head. It's a total mindset thing, especially if you are listening to this and you have taken the time this year, or even in the past few years that you've been a coach, and you've taken time to sit down and think about the future that you want for yourself, and you know that future is so much more than what you have right now, and you know what it's going to take to get you there. If you have done that, then you know what you need to do. It's just the reason you're not doing it, the reason you're not living into that life that you want to create, is because your mindset is not in the right place. And I have been reading this book from Keith Callahan, Build to Last, which y'all have probably noticed a lot of people are reading. But he's actually a Beachbody coach who wrote this. And I'm only on like chapter 3 or something, but it's a really, really easy read, but I've really enjoyed it so far and taken a lot of things away from it. But the whole first section of this book about learning how to build a business that lasts and is going to give you that the income and the freedom that you need to be able to do this is your mindset. That is the foundation of everything. So the whole first part of this book is just about conquering your mindset. And something that I read a chapter this morning, and I hadn't been reading this like this week for my personal development. I had been reading my other book because every time I read like some kind of business development book like this, I always have to read another like more personal development thing. So I've been focusing on that this week. But this morning I was like, you know what? I need to like before this call today, like I need to read a little bit of this book because there might be some really good nuggets in there that I could share with everyone. And I was right. So the chapter today was called, let me find it really quick. What's it called? Okay, so it was called the Build to Last mindset. So it was literally perfect for this call today. But so the thing that he says is in order to start leading others, you have to lead yourself. You have to start with yourself. And he says that leaders focus more on who they're becoming than what they're getting. So you have to focus on who is it that I want to become? What kind of leader do I want to be? What kind of woman do you want to be to showing up for your life, for your significant other, for your family, for your kids? Like, what do you want to be? And focus on that. And you have to shift. The biggest thing that I took away from this, because I can so relate to this because I've seen this happen in my own life before, is you have to shift your mindset. You have you have to believe that you can do it. Yes, like that is the foundation. You have to get to a point where you can say, I'm going to be a top coach. I'm going to make this business work for my family. And you have to fully believe that. But then the next step that's really going to get you to where you want to go, you have to shift from not only believing it, but knowing that it's going to happen. Like fully with your whole being knowing it's going to happen. And I'll give you an example of this. And I have talked about this before, but pretty much every single month that I've been a coach, not now, I've missed some months, but in the beginning, the first 2 years I was a coach, I hit Success Club every single month for 2 years straight. And there was even a month in that time where it was the last day of the month. And hang on a second, I'm going to mute somebody. Well, it won't let me. There we go. It was the last day of the month, and I had negative Success Club points because somebody had returned a challenge pack. So I was at -1 on, I think it was in like February or something. So it was like February 28th. But I knew like deep inside my soul that I was still going to hit Success Club that month. Like I can't really explain it to you, but more than just believing that I could do it, like yes, I believed it was possible, but I also knew like there was just something inside me where I knew it was going to happen, and it did. Like I worked my butt off. I showed up. I followed up with every single person I could think of to follow up, and I got 3 people to commit to their journey that day, and I hit Success Club that month. And like that is exactly what it's like to go from believing it's possible to knowing that you can do it and knowing that it will happen. And something that he said in what I was reading this morning says that the actions are just 5% of it. Like Beachbody gives us our Success Club tracker. It tells us what our actions need to be. Exactly. Lays it out. But these actionable things to do are just 5% of the results. The other 95% is your mindset and the energy that you are putting out and like how you're approaching your business and what you're doing. And this is a business, especially if you're a brand new coach, this is a do and then learn business. You have to take action. If you're not taking action every single day, you are not going to get anywhere. If you think like there is so much information out there, then yes, you are totally right. There is a ton of information out there. But if you waited until you felt like you were ready, or you felt like you knew enough about the business or the products or what you're doing, if you waited until you felt like you knew enough, you would never ever take any action at all, and you would just stay stuck in this place of just absorbing information all the time but never getting anywhere. So we have to realize that it is a do and then learn. So the more you do, the more you're going to learn. And I will give another example of that just from my own business is like when I signed up as a coach, I was all in. Like, yeah, I spent some time like reading. I think I read every single thing on the Beachbody website when I signed up, like the normal website and the coach office. Like I read everything in there that I could read in like a day. But I immediately started taking action. It was like July 27th is the day that I signed up to be a coach, and I hit Success Club in those next 3 days because I jumped in and I started taking action right away. As soon as I signed up, I started asking people if they wanted to do this with me. And that is another thing is like, stop overcomplicating it. Like this literally is all we do is show up for ourselves and then share it and ask other people if they want to do it too. Point blank. That is what we do as coaches. Like we overcomplicate everything in our lives. Like we overthink everything, especially as women. Like I'm just going to throw that out there because we're all women on here. And how often do we get stuck in our own heads about something somebody said or something our significant other did that we think means something totally different. And when you talk to them about it, they didn't even think anything of it. Like, we are so bad about overthinking everything, including this business. This business is simple. It's just consistency and showing up every single day. That is going to get you where you want to go. Dana is another prime example of this. She has been showing up so consistently over the last 3 months. Like you are going to see her face on your feed every single day. You're going to see her, and you're going to see her in our groups. You're going to see that she is doing her personal development. She's working out. She is sharing everything about her journey, and she is inviting people on her page every day. Like pretty much every one of her posts is like, come do this with me. Come do this with me. And she has signed up 2 coaches and hit Success Club this month. Like I am so proud of her. And she has been telling me this for, I don't even know how long. She's like, I know my time is coming. I know it. Like I have to keep at it, and I know it's going to pay off. And she was right. And that is just a prime example of consistency. If you are not going to be consistent and show up every day, nothing's going to change. You're not going to grow. You're not going to sign up new coaches to do this with you. You're not going to bring in new challengers, because take a step back and think about all the other network marketing companies that are out there, because there are so many. And think about, I'm sure every single one of us can name someone who has bounced around from every single one out there. And this week they're selling one thing, and next week they're selling something else. And this week they're doing keto, but then next week they're eating a bag of Oreos. Or I don't even know. Oreos are probably keto. I don't even know. But like, you know those people. And do you trust those people? Are you going to buy that stuff that they're selling because they've been selling it for a week? No, it's the people who are consistent and showing up every single day. Like when people see that Dana is showing up and posting her workout every day, and they're seeing the transformation that she's going through, not only just in her physical transformation, but the mindset transformation that she's gone through, like they are seeing that every day, and every time they see her post, she is depositing some little more coins in their trust bucket. I know we normally say like a confidence bucket, but you can say the same thing for building trust with people. And that is why consistency is so important. And me and Emily were talking about this the other night. We literally just had a random phone call. I just called her on my way home from work to talk to her about something, and we stayed on the phone for like an hour. But and I just totally lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Something about consistency, I know, but well, shoot, I lost it. You have to show up or it's not going to matter. Basically, like if you're posting like one thing and then you disappear, like you're not building that trust at all. And you have to trust in the process to know that even if I'm not seeing the results today or tomorrow, that it's going to pay off in a month. Like I was just writing down, let me find my journal. I was just writing down a list of all of my new coaches and challengers that have joined since January, because I am trying my hardest to stay in contact with every single one of them and make sure that they're seeing results and that they are still enjoying their journey and that whatever I can do to help them. And I was writing this list down, and I cannot tell you how many people are on this list that I had been talking to for months. Like, and I was writing them down this morning, and I was like, wow, like, I have been talking to some of these people for 6 months or more. So it was the work that I was doing in August and September last year and still being here today that finally got through to them. Because people have to see that it's working for you and that you're creating this lifestyle that is actually sustainable and you can do it no matter if you're traveling, if you're a mom, if you work full time, if you have 2 jobs. Like they have to see that it works for you and that it's real, and that before they can start believing in it, that it could happen for themselves. Emily just said in the chat, the people that signed up with her in March were people that she invited in November and December. Like these people, it's like if you've seen a lot of these new trainings that are coming out about all the touch points that you have with people through your posts, through your stories, when they comment on something, or if you send them an email, like all this stuff, like puts deposits into them and builds their belief in themselves just a little bit more. And so that's another reason why you just can't give up on people, because they're not. Some of these people on this list, yeah, they were just ready for a change and ready to go, and we talked about it one time and they were all in. Yeah, that happens sometimes. But more often than not, it's going to take some more time to build that relationship with someone, build the trust, and get them to believe that they are capable of this too. So there's a couple things that I wanted to go over that he talked about in the book today. And one is the question, how would you treat this if you had $250,000 on the line? Because he went back and thought about it, and he said, if I was to open up a McDonald's, or let's say Chick-fil-A for a better reference, because none of us eat McDonald's, but if you were to open up a Chick-fil-A, how much money would you have on the line to be able to do that? It would be thousands and thousands of dollars. And not only would it be your own money on the line, you would have, 20, 50 employees depending on you for their livelihood as well. But how much do you have invested in this business? Your $160 challenge pack, probably. So that's why it's so easy for people to start this business and go all in for a week or two. And then they fall off because they let life get in the way. They let busyness get in the way. And they disappear because they really don't have that much to lose. But how would you treat it? How would you show up every single day if you had $250,000 on the line and 20 employees counting on you? You bet your butt you would show up every single day, because that's what you had to do. So the next time that you think, I'm too busy to sit down and check off my list, I'm too busy to get back to so-and-so about her questions about Ultimate Portion Fix, or I'm too busy to invite 5 people to coaching. Think about if you had $250,000 on the line, you'd probably sit down and do it. And another quote, which we talked about this a little bit more, was, I wrote this down and stuck it up here above my desk. It says, those who become leaders in network marketing don't just believe they can achieve success, they know that they will. And so just as much as we don't have that much on the line as far as what we have personally invested in our businesses, what we have on the line of what we could have, like the massive success that you can see in this business if you will show up every day and work hard, like if you put that on the line, that is going to motivate you. Because yeah, if your goal is to make $100 a week, yes, you can do that. But also, if your goal is to join the Million Club and make $1 million a year, you can do that too. You just have to believe it and know that you can, and show up every single day, no matter what. So then the last things that he kind of left this chapter with were to hone in on your one long-term goal, whatever that is. If that is, if you want to be in the Million Club, if you want to be a 15-star diamond, if you want to be a full-time coach, if you want to own 2 homes, one in the Bahamas and one in the mountains out in Colorado or something, whatever it is that is going to shift your life to make it what you want it to be, for that vision that you have for yourself. What is that one goal? And focus on that every single day, and make sure that the actions that you're taking every day are getting you closer to that. If they're not, then cut them out. You don't need to be wasting your time, because that's not getting you to your one main goal. And give yourself permission to succeed. I think so many people are scared of success. And I can even say that I am, to an extent. If I build an organization of thousands of people, like, that could feel like a lot of pressure. Like, I have to even be more on top of my game. But if you're scared of that, then it's never going to happen. But if you give yourself permission to succeed and know that whatever happens, I will figure it out. Like Rachel Hollis says, she has always figured it out. So that is like the truth that she grounds herself in, is that no matter what happens, no matter how big her company gets or how bad things are, bad or good, she has always figured it out, and she knows that she can do that. So believe that about yourself too, because every single person here has done the same thing. You've always figured it out. You're still here. You figured out how to get through whatever you've been through. And then the last quote that he said is, he was talking about how some people like inherit their success, or if you're like a king or queen, your title is like passed down to you. But there is no inheritance in this business. You have to earn your title. It's not just going to be like, oh, Emily's going to be 15-star today, just place it on her head. Like, no, you got to show up. You got to work. You have to earn that. So, and the last quote question that I want to give you is something that I shared on my feed a few weeks ago, but it has just like hit home for me so much, and I've thought about it a lot, is that, is this supporting the life that I want to create? Like, ask yourself that question before you do anything, before you buy something, before you go somewhere, before you say yes, before you like ignore working on your business for a few days. Like, is what I'm doing right now supporting the life that I want to create? And I bet you'll make some different decisions. So that's all I got for you today. Does anybody have any questions or want to add anything? You can unmute yourselves. No? Rachel?
So one of the PD books that I'm reading, I'm one of those people that I read a bunch of ththings at one time because, I don't know, just to, pick up what I feel like that day. But I have a bunch of books going right now. And one of them is a book that my pastor wrote. He's obviously my pastor, but he's also like a businessman. Like, he loves business. He loves like helping people start businesses and stuff like that. Like, our church is full of people, like entrepreneurs. It's crazy. But in his book, so if you like want a spiritual and personal development book, I can give you the name of the book. But he talks about like how God is like God is for business and how it works, and like how he's placed, like he won't let you fail. And so it's like a spiritual development and a business development book, and I've loved reading it because like I like, I'm like, I need to know what God thinks about this, because a lot of the times it's like people want to make you feel bad for making a lot of money, and people want to make you feel bad for being successful. But he like talks about how like how, like I said, like God won't let you fail, and like how like we have like implemented systems in our brains that we have to like put things through this filter. So whenever we think of the word success, like what do we think that means? And that could be formed because of like not having things in our life, or like we've been through trauma, so that's how we see like certain things. But it brings in like biblical aspects of it as well. And I've really enjoyed it because it's just kind of like let me see a different side of things. So
I would love to see that or read that.
Yeah. And he's also like he did like a sermon on a couple of the chapters, so I can like link those and y'all can watch those and then see if you'd want to see the book.
Yeah, share that.
Mm-hmm. I sure will.
Totally. Sounds really awesome. And that's one thing that like so y'all probably know that like a couple weeks ago I went to church by myself for the first time, and it was like, I don't know, like that day I feel like was such a life-changing experience for me, because I feel like my life has been different since then. Like this week has kind of been hard, and just like basically because I was sleep deprived for like a week and just trying to recover. But ever since like I read that devotion that morning, and it literally told me go to church today, and I went and I was obedient and listened, like I just feel like so much more at peace, I guess, with everything that I'm doing. And it has like, not only like did I go to church by myself that day, but then I like reached out to the girl who leads the women's stuff at the church, and I went to the Bible study this week. I went to like service on Wednesday for the past couple weeks, and it has just been like life-changing to finally feel like I'm actually listening to God's calling and what he wants me to do. But then everything that I'm learning, like from the sermons at church to my devotion to the Bible study I've been doing on my own in the mornings, like everything is basically aligning with the mission that I want to have in my business. And it just makes me feel like I'm on the right path, and that if I keep my heart in the right place and just like keep my focus on him and his plan and everything, that I know everything will work out the way that it's supposed to. And it's like really kind of mind blowing how everything is just tying together. Like every single thing I've heard, read over the last 2 weeks, like will just kind of intertwine together and be like, oh, well, I heard that in service on Wednesday, and now I'm reading it again this morning. Like, and I don't know, it's just crazy what can happen when you like get your focus in the right place and everything. So I would love to read that book. Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about? Stop recording.